Chris?
Am I calling
Did
it
you
tomorrow?
talk, no, did you talk to Heston? He's not coming in.
I did not talk to him.
Alright. Okay, alright, 6 o'clock, we're gonna call, the meeting to order, the emergency services committee meeting. It's $1,800. Roll call be first.
You can look at the minutes right for that.
Oh. John Pettis?
Here.
Ken Gatto here. Chief Alaniz?
Here.
Chris Lilly?
Yes.
Heston Klink?
Versus
I'm here, I'm here.
Okay, David Robigo? Michael Alonso?
He's excused.
Joyce Lopez? And then staff president, we did that as well.
Is Todd?
Todd,
Todd's not gonna be here.
okay, and Ruby,
Mhm.
okay. We do have a quorum for the meeting. Next would be the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Pledge
allegiance
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 4, consent agenda, the approval of the minutes of meeting on July 18th, 2019. Everybody seen those?
Can I make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll second that.
John Pettis makes motion to
Approve the minutes.
approve the minutes.
July.
July, Chris Lilly second it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright, item 5, new business. Item A, discussion of on quarterly drills. Item 1, past drills. Review and discussion of fire department drill on 8/24 of 19.
What drill was that, Scott?
That would have been the,
I thought it was,
is that the basement drill?
that was a month, that was longer than that.
Yeah, I thought we
That was
discussed
in
that.
July,
Yeah, that was July.
Okay.
8/24. We didn't have a drill on
No,
8/24.
we didn't.
Since then, we had the tour. When did that occur?
That was a
So
tour maybe.
that was the tour on
Training?
the 24th, yes.
Training you're talking
The
about?
training, yeah, the site-specific training?
Okay. So, we had the fire department out, gave the majority of the full-timers all site induction training on hazards around the property. It went really well.
The burritos were good too.
Burritos were good. And then since that, I've taken the police chief around. And then we're in the process of training all the full-time officers through a site induction at the gates. So we'll get up to speed and get that all compliant with the training.
And we're about 50%, we do the
Right.
runners too, so we're about 50% done. We're trying to have a goal of getting that by the end of the month. So I think we can accomplish that. Also, shared with you our web training
Yep.
platform and the classes you suggested. So we've already knocked out 2 of
Great.
those out of the list that you provided.
Yeah.
And then the next month, because it's a monthly course, so next month we'll do one of the ones you suggest. We're gonna go through your list,
Great.
so we'll take care of that.
Awesome.
And like I said, I think that we'll be good.
Any issues with the officers coming up to the main gate at all?
No, and then they're coming by at night,
Great.
like you asked, so
Yeah.
they're coming by at night, checking in on the guard, and
Mhm.
see how they're doing. Not every night, but they're showing up now, you know, they're showing up
Wonderful.
around 2, 3 in the morning, just to say hi, make sure
Yeah.
they're awake, you know, and
Yeah,
everything's good, so.
great.
And if you want me, let me know what else you need me to do, and we'll make sure it happens.
Any good learnings from the chief's tour?
Ooh, Chief's tour. I mean, I think it was eye-opening for police to see what we got going on.
It was, yeah, it was amazing. I didn't, I didn't realize how much property Resolution owned and the extent of the operation. It's just not for me, but, maybe one day, but, from the top, I mean, it was just very, very well-run organization. You guys, very professional.
There's a lot of moving parts up there,
A lot
it's
of
pretty
good
good.
parts.
I'll tell you the truth, I saw that the yard was full, you know, when we was moving, so,
Yeah,
you know, that's the thing.
And then your command and control, I was impressed by the board, where everybody's at, the cards. I mean, it's very simple, but
tag
it's
and
very,
tag out, yeah.
it works, you know, it works. And then your emergency, response, you guys have reserve firefighters up there,
Mhm.
and the EMT, the little clinic, so that was nice, man, that was really good.
Well, good.
How about with the fire crews?
You guys,
and
any feedback?
I liked it, man, you know, I had some feedback on one of those hydrants I told you about, you know, better access, up that 9, but overall, I liked it. And I see changes you guys had from last year, you know, those little changes. I think it was great, and, I thought it was pretty simple and clean, you know, basic. Here's your hazards and all your information you handed out.
Yeah,
I think it was great, and, like I said, up to 9, it was busier than last year. And a lot of moving parts up there, and it's good to know what's up there and see all the stuff that comes in there, so. There's probably a lot more training on our side when it comes to some of that electrical stuff.
Yep.
And it's just a lot more of that, so, you know, I thought it was great.
Yeah, we had a lot of new guys that went through there full-time as well, and,
yeah.
you know, it was pretty good for them. They were, you know, kind of the same idea that Chief Allen East had said, you know, they were pretty impressed by it, and, you know, it is kind of a different world for all of us, or most of us anyway, and, it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
I think just don't be shy if there's something that we can improve, whether it's from a drill or one of those training sessions, and you spot a fire hydrant that's hard to access or whatever, just please share that with us and we can get on and making that
Yeah,
improvement.
Yeah, and, you know, last week I was at the Arizona Chiefs of Police Conference in Laughlin, and I was, sharing my tour with the county attorney for the police chiefs, and the county attorney wants to come up and look at it, you know, build a relationship with resolution. He was talking about, he doesn't really have one,
Mhm.
and, he really wants this county.
Yeah,
So we're working that out,
more than welcome.
and he's a great guy, he's a really good guy, so it's good to have that.
Thank you.
Upcoming drills, so that, I haven't shared with you, Chief, but we have a drill tomorrow. Actually, it's our next upcoming one. We're gonna have a briefing at 8 AM at the fire department, followed by a drill at 9 AM with a post debriefing at 10 AM at resolution. So we're working with the fire department. It's gonna be a fire department rescue situation drill. You're more than welcome to send the on-duty guys if you want up there, or if yourself wants to attend it and at least observe how we do these drills, you're more than welcome to. There's not gonna be a huge need for police presence on this one. As we get later on in drills, we'll start adding that kind of another element in there.
Yeah.
But if you wanna, if you're available tomorrow morning, you can definitely come and be an observer of the drill if you'd like. We're all gonna, like I said, start at 8 AM at the fire department. We're gonna do a briefing there, talk through it, do a take 5, talk through the drill a little bit, and then start the drill promptly right at 9 o'clock.
I don't think I'll be here till 10, but Son Sosa will be here. I could probably get 2 guys over there maybe,
Okay.
to see if I can.
Yeah.
So minimum 1, I'll get somebody.
Even if they just wanna observe and see how the, you
Yeah,
know.
that'd be good.
That's a good idea, that way they know like, what we do, if we need extra help or something, it's good to
Yeah.
observe, to see what we do. It's great.
Where did you want him to go?
8 AM to the fire department. So just make sure they have their standard, you know, uniform or, you know, PPE that they normally wear is all that's required for this kind of drill. Anything else we need to discuss about tomorrow's drill? I think you guys are set up on your end?
Yeah, dispatch is aware,
Okay, good. Are you sure they're aware?
they've been called, and
Alright.
we'll double check with them in the morning, make sure they're still aware,
Alright.
make sure they remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're gonna sleep.
Yeah, right.
That's along with Pinal County too, they gotta make sure they're aware, and then they gotta do their part on this, okay, and you gotta follow the procedures there. Pinal County
So
also.
make sure that Pinal County is aware too.
Well, we're referencing in the last drill, we called in and they go, okay, thanks for that. Like they thought we were drilling dispatch, but not actually gonna tone them out. So then they never tone them out and then we're waiting and we're waiting
It's a
and
long
waiting.
time.
Yeah. So if we don't, we'll need to listen tomorrow. If they don't drop tones, you know, 2-3 minutes, we need to
Right.
call ahead so you guys know.
I do need to make sure that, you know, he contacted Now County as well, because I do know I was included in that email to our dispatch, but I'm not sure about now County, we probably need to be over too, you've been telling them, right?
So we'll start the communication tomorrow when we call it in, this is a drill, and then tell them what we need, and then give limited
Yeah, I
information.
usually Captain Jen and call Pound County since he works with them anyway.
Yeah.
Tell him, get ahold of their dispatch, tell them we're having,
Make sure.
make sure, and they gotta follow through and go ahead and call our dispatch, they can call us,
Yeah.
let's do the whole thing,
Yeah.
So, they know about it.
Very good. If we need to discuss anything, we'll have, probably in the next meeting, we'll discuss the follow, the actions that come out of it tomorrow, so. That'll be an agenda item.
So it'll be both past drills and upcoming drills again the next meeting.
Yep. We can do that. Just information, right? So,
Okay.
moving on.
No. All right, we'll move on to the next item, discussion, possible approval of annual emergency services plan.
So I see on the last minutes that I would present the draft plan of revisions at the next meeting, and evidently I didn't send that to present.
Is that the risk assessment, or is that?
That's the actual, the emergency services plan, that document that we edited.
Oh, okay, I got
So
you.
evidently I didn't send it, Ruby?
No.
Okay,
There was some changes online that made that suggest.
okay.
So
So,
should we table it then, and,
please, so just from an action standpoint, Tim, I send that to Ruby
Me and Todd.
and Todd? Okay.
Yes.
And then you'll copy the whole committee? Okay, so that the chief can get a chance to look, okay.
I think the last time you were gonna send it to Todd, and Todd was gonna send it out to everybody.
I thought I sent it, but I
I
could
just
very
sent
well be
it, I
mistaken.
did some correct, maybe it was name
I
correction.
think it was one of the
Yes.
first ones.
First, yeah, we did one of the first ones you first sent out, I know that.
Okay.
Okay.
I have it.
Do we get one in case one was in here?
Thank you, Ruby.
Okay. Put that,
Table that item?
yep, till next one, next meeting. Okay. We'll move on to next item C, discussion on NIMS, incident command compliancy for the whole town.
Okay, I've been looking at that one, making some changes on the old plan we had. And there's some of those drills, I wanna make sure that those are actually the NIMS guidelines, because some of those drills are hard to follow with the department. Not always here, we got 9 drills in a year of certain types.
Yeah.
So I'm just very trying to look into if that's, we really have to do those. Like that one big incident drill we had with the stack coming down,
Yeah.
that was considered one of the big
And then
incident
drill,
drills.
yeah.
So I'm kind of looking into that, because I don't want to have a policy out there, and we can't even make it, we can't even do what it tells us. I want it to be achievable
Yeah.
type of goal, but also in compliance with the NIMS, so.
Well, I didn't think there was 9 a year you had to do, was that many?
I thought it was annual drill.
Like one a year annual,
Yeah,
yeah.
full
A
scale.
big one, full scale one a year, like
And you do a
6
tabletop
tabletops, those like 6
Yeah.
tabletops, 2
That's a
actual.
lot. So that's NIMS? is
That's
the
the
requirement?
NIMS.
So
I'm just trying to figure out, are you sure that's just something that,
That was the
Still-
drill plan.
the old plan, make sure it hasn't changed, 'cause that's hard to
The
do.
quarters can be tough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Some of those drills, like, man, that's a lot, right? And I don't know the next big one we might have, who knows, but.
The tabletops though, are you doing those today?
We haven't done it in a long while, but we usually do. we haven't
Yeah,
done it in a long while.
we do them. I think last one we did was a wildland one. It was one last one I remember doing.
Yeah.
It was like a year or 2 ago, and a little bit actually. And those are actually pretty simple to do. They're not very hard to set up, you can get a simulation table and, and it's almost like a round table thing, if you will.
Is there a way that we can help you accomplish that?
Well, I think we participate in it, being
Yeah.
just a community member, right? With assets, for resources to help you guys.
I will look into the tabletop thing and
We'll see how it goes, yeah.
Just so you guys know, this last month we've gone through and we've trained all of our ERT with ICS. We
Okay.
started with 100 and 200.
Yes.
So we're starting to get compliant, so we can do a unified command. when you
So
guys
that's
come
great,
there.
that works.
Yeah, we saw there was a deficiency on our end, we didn't have a good command system, so we went with ICS, so.
The command system's always good if it's a big event or a small event, even if you guys have a small event, just practice it, that's what we do. If it's a car accident, there's 5 of us there, we'll have some type of setup of a command system.
And I hope to see something like that tomorrow when you guys come up, that is we're having trouble with these drills, is there isn't anybody taking command, right? And if we're gonna have a unified command, we should try and establish that tomorrow, and find out who's in command, and really stress with our team to establish those positions right off the bat, as they're gonna be first on scene and establish that early. So then,
Most
Scott, when we did that, incident with the helicopter, what was it, a year ago now, I
Probably,
think?
yeah.
Yeah, we had Queen Valley here.
Oh, the
and
nighttime
you were
one,
there.
yeah.
And that was the one that, it opened my eyes that we didn't understand the command system on our side, and. thinking
Yeah,
back-
I was
yeah.
one of those like, wait a minute, man, something's going wrong here, this doesn't always happen like this.
Yeah.
There was some confusion in there, so,
But
no.
man. So we're working on that on our end. We actually trained a bunch of your guys again on 100 and 200, so like Tyler and Joseph and Jason, and all those guys went through
That's
it.
good.
So,
No, that's great, that makes things run smoother. Traffic messages always makes it run smoother.
And we used the county as a resource for that, so Chuck Komet's team came up,
Oh, yeah.
and Art, I don't know if you know, Arthur, I forget his last name, he's in charge of training for ICS. He's more than willing to train anybody in Superior. He really, he knows that the more training he does up here during an event, then you guys be more helpful to fall in line there.
Scott's so confident of that he just got it into the minutes.
Yeah, I
He
did.
made a commitment to the county and he put it in the minutes.
No, I talked to Art about it, and he's more than willing to hold classes here in town or to go down to their training center. So, if you wanna hold, start at the basics and do the 100s, 200s,
Yeah.
all the way up to whatever you guys need, 700, 800, so.
Do they have?
I'm still working on that limbs command.
No, he'll do whatever your
I'll make
schedule
it
is.
achievable.
I'll make it achievable.
Right.
So I'll get with you then.
Yeah, I'll get you his contact,
All right.
but they wanna see Superior coming on board with the ICS program, so we wanna support it.
John, on that item C, how far along are we then on the compliance status?
You know what, I haven't looked at the numbers and haven't went back and looked at all the drills of what we have done, because it's been a while, even with tabletops and simple. We'll have to go back and probably start over and make sure we're at. The last biggest one was a stack, it's actually documented as one, but other than that, it hasn't been hardly at all, so. That's why I looked at these numbers, like, man, that's a lot to do. For all the drills for a department, you gotta get together, you gotta make something achievable and realistic, but still compliance with.
So that's something we should probably monitor every month.
Yeah, I will say, yeah, because I tried to get out, I was reading it the other day, like, wow, that's a lot to do, man. It's hard to get people together sometimes to get all that to work out, but yeah, I'm still working day and way at it.
So can we keep that as a standing agenda item?
I say, yeah.
Okay. Is that okay, Rudy?
So I think we need to get the NIM, like you're saying, the actual policy for the town in place, and then we can start training to that, right? So, kind of two-step approach. The first thing is get the, what do we call it?
Emergency service plan.
I thought it was separate from that, because there was a NIMS plan that Todd had pulled from the archives that,
There is.
There is, that's
So-
what I'm looking at.
okay,
So
so we gotta get
20
that one
2012.
approved, and then drill to that, so.
That's from
Okay.
2012, I was looking at.
Was it? Yeah.
We'll leave this one on the agenda for next meeting as well.
So, and is there two sub-points then on that agenda item? There's the one for the actual NIMS compliance for the town, and then there's the plan itself.
Well, the plan has to come, and then we drill to the plan, so we need to we need to finalize the plan of the
Yeah.
town, and I think the council has to.
Yeah, they have to,
We have to,
they,
yeah.
I don't think they ever approved that one,
They
that's
did
why.
not.
So that's why I wanna make sure it's a realistic plan.
So is that something that we should bring in front of this committee, the plan itself? Is
I
that
guess
something-
maybe after they approve it, and then we can drill by the plan and go and get some NIMS training in there. Even tabletop with you guys too, those, that could be something we can do.
Mhm.
If the council didn't approve it in 2012,
I don't think it ever got presented to the council. I don't know if it ever got that far.
I've never remember seen it. I know we had one, because Todd was working on it, but I never come to, Todd always went to the meetings, so.
maybe we could circulate that for the next meeting, the actual plan itself.
We could help you,
Yeah.
I have my computer,
Yeah.
yeah.
so you'll maybe send that to
Ruby and,
Ruby, and she can forward it around, and then we can get you some edits on it, and
That works.
then you have to take it to the council.
Oh, that's fine. No, we'll look at it and see
Yeah.
how it works. What's
just
happening.
tentatively is our intention here to submit it to the town council again.
Get it approved, and then
Get approved.
drill to it.
Or
So is that something we want to try and accomplish before the end of the year?
I say yes, get a date, you gotta get a date on stuff, right, get things done,
Yeah.
so let's just do a date on the end of the year. It's plenty of time to do some research and may ask more questions.
County might be a good resource to help put that together too, because they're gonna.
They have an in County, I know they do. Okay.
Good.
Yep. I'm good.
Okay, next one, item D, discussion on Earth Services Committee audit of the fire department fleet maintenance. Attached is the records. These are all the records from Mesa Fleet from the get-go on our every apparatus up until end of July,
Yep.
I believe, and then we switched over to Superstition Fire Fleet.
So-
So it just kind of basically breaks down every time it's been in there, any of the apparatus has been in there, what they did, whether it be a PM maintenance on it or what they actually did to them as far as maintenance, so, you know.
Is that meter reading, is that mileage, or is that hours?
Mileage. That's it, yep, mileage.
So the top one at 258,000, what is that?
That's the rest of
200 and,
1137. Wait, which one you looking
yeah, which,
1761, well, the top one is 251,794, the next one down. 2017, 1761, is that the same unit?
No. Same numbers.
yeah, it's the same unit, it's just later, it's a later date.
Okay, it's a later.
Later
so
date, yeah, that's a few weeks later.
Is there a life on these that we should be saying that we draw the line? That's probably a trick.
Well, you know what, it's like for,
Kinda, they're,
yeah, NFPA says like for our truck, right, 20 years, 25 years max. But our truck is maintained in good shape, it's not used every day, so it's still compliant with NFPA as in, I believe.
other mileage, or other years, right?
Years is getting up there.
You know, and these rescues are, you know, that is a lot of miles for a rescue, you know, and our rescues get used the most, those are our ambulances.
The numbers of those?
That one's, that's our rescue 631, that's actually our backup now, we got the new rescue 632, so this one here is the backup one, which is with the high mileage.
2017 is a Dodge,
Yeah,
it's a manual Dodge.
so, you know, that is starting to get up there, you know, we're looking at ways to get that worked out, you know, there's grants and we're looking at lease purchases and, you know, looking into, you know, it's gonna be tough with, you know, those things aren't cheap.
So which one is that again? I don't see that on here.
Which one?
The rescue?
The one with the newer
Oh,
one?
right at the very end, the brush truck, the 4x4 brush truck, the last one? 81,000 miles?
Yes. Sounds about right.
Or 86,000, yeah, 83,000 now.
Yeah, 84. That's a brush truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, the miles of that, for what we use it for is good for now. I mean, we use it a couple times this year, otherwise we're sitting our station. Maybe around summertime, put that in use.
But is that mostly running back and forth to Mesa?
On the brush truck?
Yeah.
No, we bought that from Mesa, those used from Mesa.
Oh, okay, so it came with
It came with the miles.
50,000 or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I
it came with
apologize.
that higher mileage.
Yeah, we bought
Okay.
that, they got that from
Or
Mesa.
that mileage itself, it's not high mileage, but it came with that mileage that truck did. Most of our units don't, other than our rescue, our ambulances, obviously, they get a lot of miles, you know, they'll get run to the valley back and forth 2-3 times a day sometimes. Our engines don't really get that many miles. I give Superstition, they request a mileage on every apparatus, of course, every month. And that's how they go off of, you know, when it's due, so their engines, like down in the Superstition, they do it every 4,000 miles. We don't put 4,000 miles on an engine in a year probably. So they're you know, once a year at least minimum, we need to do a PM on a truck, just so, you know, you may not change oil every time, but you want to go through it, make sure everything else is good, or, you know, obviously if there's any issues, we'll take them down too, but, so they keep track of the mileage, you know, and
And you gotta remember
schedule
too,
for 'em.
when the engine is sitting on the scene, they're idling or they're running on idle, so they're running, but they're not putting the miles per se. You know, that's why when it comes to yearly maintenance, like, okay, let's do it once every 6 months, you know, middle of the year. Well, you gotta remember idle time sitting there fighting a fire or whatever, they're running hour-wise on the engine. Diesels are good for that, you know.
Chief, this is on the agenda, and we're to discuss it, and what is the discussion to be centered on?
This, we you guys help pay for our maintenance, part of the maintenance, and so we're gonna show you that the money we use for that is being used to maintain our trucks, get them up to standards according to the
Run service contract,
Yes.
you know,
Okay.
that they are being maintained and
or you are using it for that, make sure our trucks are up and
Is
running.
this every vehicle?
every vehicle's on there. Yeah, and you'll see like some of them, like the rescue right there is 3 pages, because it gets used a lot, then you'll get one that's just 1 page, that's a tender, because you'll never use it, or the brush truck is probably
So
1 page.
Every bracket, every box is actually a service
Yes,
visit, right?
yes, there you go, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And then we'll do a different one next time, we'll do one on some like the PPE, and then
Mhm.
do one on equipment, you know. There's just so much to do, it's too much that in just one meeting.
No,
Oh, yeah.
thank
We
you.
kind of break it up and make it really simple. So, yeah, we are been discussing and looking at trying options and what we can do about, you know, replacing something, you know, like engine or doing a rebuild on them, or, you know, same with the rest.
They're 500,000 plus for an engine, so they're not cheap,
Yeah.
you know.
I like this very last one on the first set. You have a battery replacement just for labor, no parts. Means the battery was under warranty, right?
No.
Yep.
Superstitions are doing a great job. I was down there today, we picked up our engine last night, I was down there for a scheduled PM. And I went and picked up, talked to the lead down there, and you know, he's real thorough, he likes what he does, and he's been doing it, he wants it done right, so. These guys so far have been doing a real good job. They worked on our stuff prior to us going to Mesa. I think they're doing a good job right now, keeping us informed, coding stuff out for us before they say yes or no, we're gonna wind up fixing an hour later, so. They're doing a real good job keeping us up.
And they'll give you a similar breakdown like this is the same thing?
Yeah, I got one in my car, I got it in here on my phone, but it's a similar breakdown of parts and labor.
I think it's simpler, actually, I like it a little bit easier, it's easier to read than, this is just their, you know, they'll actually break down, itemize everything, as well as superstitions, as you'll see when he gives you one. You know, they're good about, you know, yeah, we need parts, but, you know, this is still certain, you know, it's in service, but we're not gonna leave it set down here all weekend, just waiting on a part, you know, you can take it back and order a part next time you come in, bring it in, and we'll fix this, and, you know, they're good about that.
If there ever comes to something detailed, they'll give us their notes, they have no problem sending us some notes on the repair. If I want to ask why you changed a, you know, $1,000 item, well, here's why, and yeah, we're good with that, you know.
Yeah. So,
Very good.
yeah, there's always an issue with them when something comes up on them, and you get stressed out over it a little bit.
He thinks he might have found him today, he's like, remember, our trucks sit there for 2 months before we actually use it on a fire, and it might sit another month, might sit 3 months. So that's why you're gonna get a lot of runtime, and it's still in good, it's not beat up.
Right.
Mileage and bouncing and brackets breaking like a fire truck go down the valley, so.
And we
It's
start
not
with
good shape.
regular.
Oh, yeah. So we test them, we got to make sure everything's certified, so we do test them. It's, matter of fact, it's coming up here, next month to November. Back to pump testing and stuff, to make sure everything, the hose testing all over again, you gotta do every single hose in the truck. Ladder testing. He's good, cause he'll send out his ladder certification people to come to us, instead of us taking everything to him, so that makes it much easier.
Great.
There'll be a audit on that as well. Hose testing, pump testing, ladder testing.
Just a quick question, Asset Works, what is that? Program you guys have at the fire department? or-
That's Mesa Pro, I believe, right?
What is it?
That's-
Oh, no, that's Superstition Fleet down there, HE.
So did they
Oh,
print
they
this
use
out, or?
That's what they use, yeah, they email this to us. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, that's
Mesa,
Mesa's.
Mesa's.
Yeah, we don't do these, Mesa no more, I'm sorry.
Management program.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, Mesa was
from
doing
there.
that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've been looking for some kind of a program to inventory our stuff, that looks nice.
I can give you the one, I got one in my car, I believe, that I just got from Superstition today, maybe look at that too.
You have the same need to track asset maintenance and.
I do, but I don't have the same standards they have, I don't have a, like Arizona program put out, X amount of miles, you have to do this or that, it's just more, we just kind of, tires are bald, we replace the tires, you know, but I still need for internal use, I like to keep track of stuff, you know what we're doing, what we're spending money on. But same challenges, you know, we got miles, we got hours, everybody seems to forget about the hours, you know, they wear the engine down quite a bit. So, yeah, similar challenge, but I really like this looks nice.
Thank you.
Anything else on it? All right. Item E, discussion on emergency Capital expenditure. SFP items for 2019-2020. Not sure what the EMC stands for.
Emergency Service Committee. Nancy?
Is that Emergency Management Committee? What?
I'm not sure what that stands for, but anyway, that's,
I think it should say ESC.
Yeah. That'd be a
oh,
broad
okay.
word.
Maybe a typo.
I wasn't here when I kind of
That's
was
all right.
talking, telling him to do that. I was
Didn't
trying
matter.
to remind Todd to
I
do
wrote
the
my
minutes, everything's in there, my hard drive.
Right, that's all. You wanna-
These are items you got, guys. We went and looked and we got together and seen what was needed. Like these BK radios, that's for about wildland firefighting or out somewhere, they're programmable radios. They're expensive. But the ones we have are outdated right now and they can't be programmed, I believe.
will not be a
So
problem.
we figured we get 2 of those, so we have those if you want to wildland anywhere in the state. You just take it to the command center, punch the numbers, and we talk to everybody on that radio.
A question, is that required, as part of the resource or wildland when they call out a brush truck? Is that,
They like to have
I
this.
forget what they call it, the type, whatever your brush truck is?
Yeah, type 6 or.
Is that needed as part of that?
Yes, as far as communication, because the radios we have right now do not have the frequencies for the state land, state forestry. They've got channels that we won't have on our radios, and we can't get them.
So FEMA will require these to be
Yeah.
part of your type 6 or whatever.
Yeah, that would keep tender out, either one. Even for the engine doing structural protection during a wildland fire, we gotta have one. So you get 2 of them, because they're pretty expensive, so.
Okay.
Right.
Then our vent fan, you know what, we bought one the last go around, they're electric battery powered, great, quieter, they work well, they don't leak gas in your compartments, a little bit safer, the hoses don't rot out. I think they're a great feature. We have one, so we're buying a second one for our second engine. So that's where you got that vent fan right there.
They're lighter.
Oh yeah.
So they have,
And
they're
you
battery
plug-
operated, but they're also, if the battery goes out, we got generators, they plug in their generators, the backup, they'll safe for if the batteries or die off on it.
So is this a request for a second fan for this next year? Is that what this?
Yeah,
Yes.
this is for our second truck.
I think all these items were on our original first year capital expenditure, other than the last 2 items.
I seem to remember the piercing nozzle too.
Yeah, we kind of, we pushed that down a little bit, pushed it out, we'll try to get what's more needed before we do that, so. Here's nozzle, we finally gonna get one. And then, of course, our sofas went through our interior of our station. I know we have sofas donated to us in the past from people moving out of trailer parks, but they give them to fire departments.
Yeah.
So some people donated some sofas, but they are getting there where they're worn down, and that was part of the, some of the stuff we looked at. And you got the washer dryer, no, we got the washer dryer. That's the one inside the station. So those items there for just the station and the
Yep.
station got worn out.
Right.
We're looking to get an ice machine right now too. Summertime, need it, ice all the time instead of going buying bags and storing them. So we're hoping to see if we can get some type of ice machine over at the station.
Cool, that water down they donated to you? or
There you
what?
go, that's it. It's all water in there. That'll work.
Yeah,
Still got some of that left?
Oh yeah.
just a little bit.
So what's the ice used for?
Every time you go out on a call, we throw ice in we have ice chests with the waters in them dry already.
Okay.
Go on call,
Yeah.
dump bags of ice in there and take them. And then our air compressor, we did buy one 2 years ago,
3,
3 years ago.
4 years ago.
Has a fracture on the weld to the tank. You can't weld those tanks.
Nope.
Yeah.
And we tried to see if it was in the warranty, if it was in the warranty.
It was out of warranty, just out of warranty, we'll figure.
Yeah.
How big is that?
It's a 60-gallon tank, it's in the bay, it's actually one to use for, like we plug our trucks into, I keep the air,
Heard of.
aired up to them all the time.
So that stationary is gonna stay in the station?
Yeah.
Yes. That was unexpected, just recent. Yeah, the Connex boxes, we got a corner in there, and it's what, Todd suggested we put this on our capital expenditure. We got a corner that we keep getting, for all this extra, like hoses and, our spare hose, some of our spare tools, like our old vent fan. We probably get rid of some of that stuff probably. That one we keep getting in trouble by.
Yeah, clean it up. a little bit.
Risk management. keep stinging us on that, and we have no place to put in that stuff.
They'll rot if it's outside, so you gotta put it inside.
Right.
Does it need any temperature controls?
No, I don't think so.
Just secure, you
It's
can
just-
lock it so people can't walk away.
Right, and it's not a hazard for, they say, all this stuff right here, you can't have it here, it's a hazard, trip hazard in the fall. And, we've been asking for one, and that's, for that reason, to throw that stuff in, and that way it's,
20 footer, big enough?
yeah, to fit along in that corner, that way it'd be inside today, with a roll door on the end, and that way it's not sitting outside, I mean, it'll still get warm, but not like outside.
Oh, so it is gonna be in the bay?
In the bay, in the
yes.
bay.
So why do you have to build a, what, you couldn't just put a fence up in the bay or something, like, why do we need to have
Like
a?
a
want it
pad, a
covered.
fence, and a covered area?
You want it
you can
covered.
walk?
They want it covered.
What's the purpose? And just-
I don't know about covered, I never thought about fenced in area, if that's,
and if you-
I mean, it's just a
Put
corner.
a tool crib on in the,
Yeah, I don't know if we can drill into that concrete. Why we can't, can we drill that concrete? Or because of the way it's laid in there? There's drill holes in it.
Don't know about that, I shall see.
I don't know. That's
Well,
not,
you
that's not
could, but
bad.
I don't know.
stay cooler probably too, I mean, I don't know.
That's something to look into. That's a good idea.
So what's the concern though? That it's gonna walk off and stuff, or
Just want some people to store it safely so we know where it's at.
what's the risk?
Well,
of
it's
management?
just all piled in a corner right now and put there, and we have no place
Trip
else to
hazard
put
kind of
it.
thing, or-
Yes, it's
Oh,
trip
okay.
hazard, that's why they said we can't have it there because it's a trip hazard. It's, trying to climb around and that stuff, and,
Yeah.
Concrete's pretty pricey, but right now you could, just if the fences and a cover, you could do that fairly easy and do the pad later.
What's inside though?
Right, that's
In
it.
the-
No, if we do it outside,
Oh.
with a pad and a fence and a cover, instead of doing conics.
So maybe look at that. But weather-wise, I don't know if the water soaking in there, you know what I'm saying, riding the hose out.
Yeah,
Sit
get
on the
a
outside of the hose, sitting there for so long.
covered area, just put a canopy up over it, not a cheap canopy, a nice cover. You can make it big enough you can park vehicles underneath there.
Yeah.
For that $2,900, that's pretty expensive.
Is that a rental or is that a purchase?
it's a purchase.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's pretty good.
We just bought 5 40 footers, and they're about 2,000 more than that. Painted, quality floors. The lock that you can't tamper with, they're a little,
Yeah, tamper-proof.
Yeah.
cover.
a little covered lock area.
Maybe look through you guys as a vendor, see what they can.
Well, they're more, you said there were more, right?
Well, they're
Well, you're
bigger,
40
they're bigger.
foot.
It was 40 foot.
I'm sure they might have some small ones too, maybe.
So, yeah, yes, we can share that with you, I can send the quote over to you. Should I just send it to Ruby and she can
Yeah,
send it to you?
sure,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll take that as an action, yeah.
So is this are we voting on this or is this just a discussion on these? Or what's that?
It says discussion on the,
Discussion on it.
on the,
There's nothing else you guys need for this next upcoming year? This is,
well, it's just,
was there a limit we were trying to keep this on?
Yeah.
yeah,
What was
there
that?
there was a limit, there's 25,000.
Yep, because we're using 10 grand of that for health and safety. For
Okay.
physicals and stuff, so I took 10 grand off the back and let's put more money in physicals and
Fit test and stuff, or is that, just physicals, or what is it?
it's gonna be we're still looking for, the last people went through heart fit.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to get back a hold to get a modified physical because it's good for us, so it's legal for us to use. Because those are pretty expensive for each firefighter, and they're still working on that right now.
What's expensive for you? What, 300? How much?
For maybe physicals?
Yeah,
What, yeah,
The last one we did, I mean, they were stress tests, they were pretty in-depth physicals. I mean,
yeah.
And they were like
Yeah,
$800 to $900 of each, yeah. And so, that was a full workup, and then we thought, well, the next year, I don't think we need to go that in-depth, as long as we have a baseline now we can do one they'll downgrade it from that, if you will, just so you can you're still gonna get all the, the blood work, obviously, and everything else, and it's not that in-depth of a physical for this year, you won't save them ones for every few years or something, the more in-depth ones for, because, we got a good baseline anyway, and we, it is a good concern from us, because we got 3 guys now that have left us, and they all have cancer.
yeah,
One had pre-existing condition, but the other 2 didn't.
So there's, on the ESA, we probably should pull it up, make sure we understand what the dollars are for this year. I apologize, probably should have known that number on the top of my head, but I know Heston would have remembered if he were here.
Yeah, it's 25 on the capital expenditure for the fire side.
Okay,
You know, and there is some other stuff sometimes that, you know, when it's coming out of that, you know, it ain't in the rest of the line items. I don't have my copy of my budget with me, but.
Chief, do you know what your number is for this year?
I think it was like 61 or something like that, because of the truck.
Yep.
Some deal that was made before last year,
Yeah.
I think mine was like 61.
That's why.
Oh, because you got the trucks and then you got more money this year?
Because they paid for the truck initially, and we
Yeah, I
paid for the
remember.
lights and upgrades, but they bought the truck and
Yeah.
then it coming to us. And
Yeah, so we read it that we're gonna switch that way so they can have that.
So he's got more money. so-
Yeah, that's why,
Yeah.
that's why it's lower.
That's
So
what
do you have your shopping list prepared?
I'll
or-
have it for you at the next meeting.
Okay,
And it's, yeah, we'll have a long discussion on it.
Scott has some guidance for you, he'll probably want to share with you in advance, so you know.
we discussed some of that already, but yeah,
We, from the time we started doing this, we have made some, sat down, like I said, as a department, and what's necessary, and we start working, getting the items need the most, and come to where we're at today, so.
I definitely agree with this upgrading the station, but I mean, you need you guys to be comfortable, I mean, you know.
You're gonna be there 24 hours, you
Might
got
as well.
people, yeah,
Yeah.
you've gotta have the right facilities for that.
Yeah,
Sure, well, I've been there
Yeah.
10 years, and I know that better than 10 years, and same mattresses, you know, same
it'd be nice to get
table.
all new furniture, paint the place or something, I mean, make it
Yeah.
feel like a new station, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
And the total, you know, it's only just under 18, but.
Yeah, it's nothing much to really,
Yeah, and the problem, you know, we find a lot of this time, we get this resolved 6 months, 8 months later, it's, you know, things are a little more expensive and shipping
Sure.
and stuff, so we try to keep it under, if we don't go over it.
Just
Even
that
though I know there's other
just-
items that come out there occasionally,
yeah, for sure.
so we try to.
There's no new TV on here though, I see.
Yeah.
There you go, all
All
right.
right. Round to the water.
All right, fair enough.
So next time we'll go over this in more detail, is that the
Well,
intention?
probably just approve it maybe next time, is that the?
Just do a negative approval for next
No,
time.
no, bring it, you know, well, we can discuss the Conex box or whatever, that, you know, when we talk about that too.
Yeah, next month, while we hash some things around, we can maybe, we're gonna be doing some fence work, and we could probably get you a quote on something like that too, you know, just to kind of weigh it.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, just kind of have an idea of, you know, what
Lock
can
up
be
tool
an
crib
option
versus,
versus.
yeah. So I hate for you to put a Conex inside the waste space in the bay.
Yeah.
I'd rather see that.
You know, if it's,
Outside or
if you fence it
something.
off in there, I think that one might solve their issue with, you know,
Because it's
people
closed off,
getting
you
in.
can walk through there.
You know, and if you built, you know, some shelving or something, just organize stuff, it'd be a little bit. you know,
We're always putting those tool cribs in all over the warehouses and stuff.
And come by and look, you see what, you know, you get a chance, see
Yeah,
what time,
we could do that.
see what the corner looks like.
Yeah,
You know, it's a
Give you some
northwest corner,
suggestions.
yeah.
Yeah, we just finished quite a bit of concrete work, because we have a batch plant up there, and that concrete work was essentially free for us. And, you know, concrete's expensive.
Yes, it is.
We're past that point now, we're past that testing part of the batch plant, but there may be opportunities there too. In the future, we can get something at a much better rate.
You know, hope that plant will be there for a while then.
will we?
2 years at least, yeah.
Okay.
All right,
All
so
right.
we'll just discuss that next.
Yeah, just
next
more
month.
discussion, I'll have more discussion on it next
Yep.
meeting.
Sounds good.
This was very.
Discussion and possible approval next time.
Okay, real quick.
Okay. All right, last item, adjournment.
Well, we want to include the PD budget in the next one too, right?
Yeah, so the list of
Yeah,
expenditures.
I'll have my, get my draft, I'll have it for you guys.
Perfect.
I'll work with you throughout the month. And,
Yep.
I can see, by tomorrow is what I have so far.
Very good.
Make sure I'm on the right track, this is
Yeah.
my first time.
Yeah, absolutely. Be good.
Thank you.
Okay,
All right, we have a motion to adjourn.
motion adjourned.
You make
I
the
make
motion.
a motion adjourned.
I'll second that.
And then we have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Who's that Escalade I see, there's a big black Suburban with all blacked out windows, or Escalade with all black windows?
No, no, no.
Who is that? I see it running around. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's with a Suburban or Escalade.
County guy.
I thought it was one of your guys. No, that looks like a
Is it off?
obvious undercover vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need a, find one of these.
It'll be a lot of fun.
too, Chief.